Jansen Panettiere was more than simply the younger brother of actress Hayden Panettiere. He was an American actor and voice performer who began working in entertainment while still a child, moving between Disney Channel productions, animated projects, family films, and later television dramas. What makes his story particularly interesting is how his career gradually moved away from the conventional path associated with a young Hollywood actor. Alongside acting, he developed a serious interest in visual art, eventually presenting himself publicly as an artist as well as a performer. His career was relatively short, but his credits reveal a surprisingly varied body of work. Jansen Panettiere was born in Palisades, New York, to actress Leslie R. Vogel and firefighter Alan Lee Skip Panettiere. He was born on September 25, 1994, making him 5 years younger than his sister Hayden. His family background gave him an early connection to entertainment, but his father's career was outside Hollywood, while his mother had worked as an actress on daytime television. His entrance into acting came remarkably early. One of his first credited television appearances was on Even Stevens, the Disney Channel comedy that became a familiar part of early 2000s youth television. Rather than immediately becoming known as the younger sibling of a rising actress, Jansen accumulated his own credits across different productions. His early television work included appearances on Hope and Faith, Third Watch, Everybody Hates Chris, and other programs. One of the less obvious parts of his career was his extensive voice work. Jansen voiced Periwinkle in Blue's Clues, bringing him into the world of children's television without appearing on camera. He also supplied voices for animated projects including Racing Stripes, Ice Age, The Meltdown, Robots, and Nickelodeon's The X's. These credits are easy to overlook because several involve characters rather than Jansen appearing as himself, yet they demonstrate that his work extended beyond conventional live-action acting. His connection with Hayden also produced several professional collaborations. The siblings appeared together in the 2004 Disney Channel film Tiger Cruise. They later shared the screen again in The Forger, while Jansen also appeared in Racing Stripes, a film in which Hayden had a major voice role. Their professional relationship, therefore, went beyond family photographs or Hollywood events. They actually worked together on screen and within the same productions. A particularly notable project was The Last Day of Summer, the 2007 Nickelodeon television film in which Jansen played Luke Malloy. The performance earned him a Young Artist Award nomination, giving him recognition separate from his connection to Hayden. The role was significant because it placed him in the center of a youth-oriented production rather than merely as a supporting performer. Jansen's filmography eventually broadened. He appeared in The Perfect Game, The Secrets of Jonathan Sperry, The Martial Arts Kid, The Lost Medallion, The Adventures of Billy Stone, Summer Forever, and other films. He also worked in television productions such as Major Crimes. His later credits demonstrate that he continued pursuing acting after the period when he was primarily associated with children's and family entertainment. One of his final television appearances came in The Walking Dead. In 2019, he appeared in the 9th season as Casper, a member of the Hilltop Colony. That appearance is particularly notable because it represented a transition into a much darker and more mature television environment than many of his earlier projects. The same year, he appeared in How High 2, giving him one of his last screen credits. Away from acting, Jansen increasingly explored visual art. Photographs of his artwork appeared on his social media accounts, revealing a side of his creativity that was considerably less visible than his acting career. His agent described him after his death as an artist as well as an actor, while contemporary reporting noted that he had been showing his artwork publicly. This creative shift is one of the most revealing parts of his later life because it shows that acting was not his only artistic ambition. His relationship with his sister was also an important part of his personal life. Although Hayden was the more internationally recognizable performer, available accounts indicate that the siblings remained close. Shortly before Jansen's death, he posted a photograph involving Hayden, and she was photographed cutting his curly hair. The image later became one of the final publicly documented glimpses of their relationship before his death. Jansen's romantic life was comparatively private. Public reporting identified Catherine Mitchie as his girlfriend around the time of his death. Mitchie subsequently paid tribute to him publicly, reflecting the personal relationship they shared. Beyond that, there is limited reliable information about his private romantic history, and claims circulating online about additional relationships should not be treated as established facts unless supported by credible sources. That privacy is important when examining the rumors that appeared after his death. Jansen died unexpectedly on February 19, 2023, at the age of 28, and early reports initially stated that his cause of death had not been established. Because the circumstances were unexpected, speculation appeared online. His family later provided a definitive medical explanation, making many of the circulating theories unnecessary and unsupported. The family's explanation was that Jansen died from complications associated with cardiomegaly, an enlarged heart, together with aortic valve complications. The information was released publicly by his family in the days following his death. His family also requested privacy as they dealt with the loss. Consequently, claims suggesting a different established cause of death are not supported by the family's publicly reported explanation. The circumstances surrounding his death were especially difficult for those close to him because there had been no publicly known announcement indicating that he was facing an imminent crisis. Reports said he was found unresponsive at his apartment after a friend became concerned when he missed a business meeting. Emergency responders pronounced him dead at the scene. The family's later statement clarified the medical cause. Jansen's death also became part of Hayden Panettiere's public story. In 2026, Hayden's memoir This Is Me, A Reckoning included reflections on her life and the loss of her younger brother. The book brought renewed attention to Jansen because Hayden discussed the impact of his death as part of her own personal history. This was not a new allegation about Jansen, but a later account of how his loss affected his sister. There is also an important distinction between genuine recent information and internet rumor surrounding Jansen. He has sometimes appeared in social media discussions that incorrectly suggest he may still be active or that new projects are being announced in his name. There is no credible evidence that he returned to acting after his death, and his publicly documented final television work remains his 2019 appearance in The Walking Dead, alongside his 2019 appearance in How High 2. Another point that can easily become distorted is the idea that Jansen's career existed primarily because of Hayden. His family connection undoubtedly gave him familiarity with the entertainment industry, but his resume shows independent work across television, animation, film, and voice acting. His Young Artist Award nomination for The Last Day of Summer, his voice roles, and his later dramatic appearances demonstrate that he established professional credits under his own name. His artistic interests also suggest that his future might have taken a different direction had his life continued. By his final years, his public identity was no longer limited to acting. His artwork appeared online, and reports described him as someone who had developed a strong passion for visual creativity. That evolution makes his career particularly intriguing. He began as a child performer, became a recognizable voice actor, moved into film and television roles, and eventually devoted increasing attention to another artistic medium. Jansen Panettiere ultimately left behind a career that was much broader than his age might suggest. From Even Stevens and Blue's Clues to Ice Age, The Meltdown, The Last Day of Summer, The Perfect Game, and The Walking Dead, his credits crossed several generations of television and film. His relationship with Hayden gave the public an additional reason to follow his story, but his own work, particularly his voice performances and visual art, provides a separate record of his creative ambitions. As of 2026, the factual record is clear. Jansen Panettiere was born on September 25, 1994, worked as an actor and voice performer from childhood, developed a parallel passion for visual art, maintained a close relationship with his sister Hayden, and was publicly identified as being in a relationship with Catherine Mitchie near the end of his life. He died on February 19, 2023, aged 28, with his family later identifying cardiomegaly and aortic valve complications as the cause. The most responsible way to discuss the remaining rumors is therefore to separate speculation from documented information. His relatively private life contains unanswered personal details, but there is no factual basis for turning those gaps into claims. What remains is the documented story of a young performer whose career moved from children's television and animation toward mature acting and visual art before his life ended unexpectedly.